Alright, get ready. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Oh, here's a mess. Well, I just woke up. What I eat today, vlog, March 4th, 2019. Typical morning frozen waffles. Although we got a unique twist on it now because I got this pistachio butter thanks to a Patreon supporter. Really unique thing. Special gift, special treat. I usually would have peanut butter. It's really tasty though, actually, despite the green color. It's extremely tasty and flavorful. I actually love pistachios. Never even thought to eat it as a butter, but chock full of nutrients. Got some blueberries on there, organic blueberries, and of course my frozen waffles, which actually have blueberry bits in them and some whole grains, but you know, not the healthiest. Definitely gonna dunk some real maple syrup on there. Love maple syrup. I put syrup in my hot chocolate yesterday. This is coffee though, plain coffee. I love coffee. I usually get Americanos, but nice big cup of coffee there. Let's chow down. Alright there, so did just 4 or 5 miles easy today. I usually do my longer run in the morning, but I was doing some testing and vlogging, and then I got a meeting at a coffee shop in a couple minutes, so I gotta head down for that. Real quick snack for lunch first, some leftover mac and cheese from last night. You'll see the picture of how I made it with some vegetables, sweet potatoes, carrots, on whole wheat noodles. This is just a little snack though. I usually need more of a hummus wrap, but maybe I'll have some stuff at the coffee shop. You'll see it in a bit here, and then I'm gonna have to do a longer run later tonight because I have a running form thing going on later this afternoon. So busy day, but definitely want to get in some miles and what I eat. Small portion of the mac and cheese I'm going to eat. Oh, it's got Brussels sprouts in it too. Got to carb up. Nutritional yeast as well. Alright, so just go back from the coffee shop. I had a waffle there as well as a 12-ounce Americano, but I gotta finish up my lunch now because I'm pretty hungry in the afternoon. Still need to do my second night run of the day, but I'm gonna have a hummus wrap. I got some organic hummus, some avocado in there. Not the healthiest thing, an Izzy drink, juice. Of course, that's kind of not the same as eating raw fruit. Definitely get some salad on there, some dark leafy greens. Add some nutritional yeast as well, some extra B12 source. Also gonna take a B12 pill, and a vitamin D pill actually. And I know, before you guys criticize, you're like, oh, why do you have to take supplements on your deficient vegan diet, right? Well, first of all, B12 is something you don't mess around with. And I'd actually promote it for, again, I'm not a doctor. Consult your doctor before trying anything new. I'm not responsible if you die or get sick. Not meant to prevent or cure any disease. Get tested. You get tested and see what your levels are. Vitamin B12, vitamin D, magnesium, iron, all these things, complete blood cell count. But you know, B12 doesn't come from animals per se. It's a microbe that's comes in. It used to come more in well water when people drank from streams, eating you know, dirt on vegetables, things like that. So it's a microbe from the soil, right? It's bacteria. It's not inherently in animal flesh. They inject it sometimes into beef to make it more appealing or something. But it's something you'd get as a byproduct from eating animal products. It's not this thing that comes from beef, but you don't want to get low on it. B12 is a really critical thing. I like to, you know, I promote it for any athlete regardless of diet. You get your B12 levels checked. And the same thing goes with iron and vitamin D. You know, vitamin D is synthesized from being outside in the sun. Of course, covered up in the winter, you don't synthesize it as much. I'd say most Americans, in my opinion, are probably deficient in vitamin D, and they don't even know it. Yeah, it's fortified in milk and cereals and things, but you don't absorb it very well necessarily. So that's why I keep track of these things with regular blood tests, and I also supplement. Now, you have to be careful though, because if you overdose, again, it could be very toxic depending on what vitamin and mineral you're talking about. So consult your doctor before trying anything new. Alright, so there we go. 2 whole wheat tortilla wraps with some hummus, nutritional yeast, avocado, lettuce, and then I'm going to actually put a couple drops of this Flora Health DHA oil on there. I'm actually not sponsored by Flora anymore. I take this oil as a supplement. Again, people are going to be like, oh, you're a deficient vegan diet, you have to take supplements. DHA, essential fatty acid oil, something that comes from algae that the fish eat, right? People say, oh, you need to eat fish, you need to eat, you know, seafood or whatever. A lot of seafood's contaminated. A lot of, even in like the Great Lakes in the U.S., you're eating fish, you're eating a lot of PCBs, heavy metals, cadmium, lead, mercury. That's probably more of a health risk, eating a lot of fish, but yeah, you could get it from freshwater fish. You could also get it straight from the source, the algae that the fish eat. So some algae products, that's where this DHA fatty acid, flax oil, is derived from. Again, as a whole foods plant-based diet, you don't want to eat generally a lot of oil. You try to stay away from highly refined things. Eating a lot of oil, it's very calorie dense. It's a lot of sometimes unnecessary fat. But I'm gonna put a couple drops on there just for the DHA source. It's more easily converted than ALA or the other form of this essential omega fatty acid, and it's essential. It is important. So that's why I keep track of these things. And just a final note on the whole vegan diet, having to take supplements things. As a runner, high-level athlete, you notice it if you get low on any of these things. If you have any little health issue, or you're not eating super clean. And even when I was running with a bunch of more typical American diet types of guys in college, as well as post-collegiately, Hanson's Brooks Marathon Olympic Development Program, they were eating red meat 3 times a week, steak, juicy burgers, these things, because they want to get their iron up, or they thought they needed the protein from beef or something like that, and they would get low on iron. They'd actually have lower ferritin numbers, be lower on iron, have to take iron pills and supplements and all sorts of things, because distance running is just really hard on your body. So what I found actually being vegan, more plant-based vegan, is I actually take less iron supplements, so I'm able to absorb iron better, even though it's not, it's heme iron, or non-heme iron. Toxic buildup of heme iron could actually be really bad for you, right? It's carcinogenic, maybe, things like that. So it's better to get things from the natural source. But what natural is nowadays, it's changed over time. And at this day and age, I think, you do have to eat a balanced diet to stay on top of all these nutrients and vitamins and minerals. But at the same time, if you're eating whole foods plant-based, you get a lot of antioxidants, and it's nutrient density, a lot of nutrients per calorie of food, per calorie, not per gram of food, nutrient density per calorie of food, and that's what we go for. So we can eat big portion size whole foods plant-based diet. Several hours later, it is dark outside. I actually didn't run very much today. I only ran about 10 miles or 16K. Doubled. I had appointments all afternoon, then got out in the snowy cold ice for a short run. This will be my shortest run of the week though. Mileage total, it's really only about 2/3 of what I've been running. I'm doing about 17 miles a day, 120 miles a week. So it was an easier recovery day, but I'm lucky because tonight Sandy made dinner. And we have an excellent Buddha bowl on tap. So we got some veggies you roasted up. Is that tofu? Tofu. I don't even know what that is. I'm going to put it on a bed of rice with a sauce, a sesame, tahini sauce on the Buddha bowl. I'm going to have a couple tortillas as well. Fun fact, Sandy just told me, tahini, basically sesame butter, is super high in calcium. It's also super high in potassium, so a great calcium source, just so you guys know. And yeah, I'm hungry. I'm also going to have an Avery Beer special beverage tonight with this dinner. I'll show you the spread. Alright, so there's the finished product. Sandy made tahini sauce with lemon juice. What else was in it, babe?
Just tahini, lemon juice, and water.
Oh, watered down. And of course, I got my tortilla there, got some tofu, put a little extra tahini on there, like the tahini, and then of course, Avery Lager, solid Pilsner, so chow down time. Alright, so I ended up getting some seconds there, of course with some extra tahini, another tortilla, a lot of great veggies on there. Sandy roasts the vegetables in a light balsamic vinegar, and then gives it a good flavor. Alright, so that's what I eat in a day, typical day, March 4th, 2019. Again, I did run a little bit less that day, but that was kind of a reflection. Typical diet, and yeah, 3 solid meals. Try to be whole foods plant-based, vegan. You could eat, Ben & Jerry's vegan ice cream all day and waffles all day and be vegan, but it's not going to be whole foods plant-based. The idea is to get in natural sources of whole grains and vegetables and a lot of fruit, a lot of antioxidants, a lot of nutrients per calorie. And yeah, I don't count calories. I don't know what the macro percentages are. I'm more worried about the antioxidants, but it's relatively low fat, relatively high carbohydrate. Definitely vast majority of my calories are coming from carbohydrates. Whole grain sources though more, except for the more processed waffles and flour, wheat flour, things like that. But quick note on protein too. Everyone seems to be really concerned about protein. I'm never worried about protein. Most people get more than enough, even 1 gram per kilogram of body weight, or even 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Of course, not all protein is created equal. You need the mix of amino acids, the building blocks of protein, but even a grain like quinoa has all 9 essential amino acids in it, and your body pulls amino acids over time. So, I don't have to eat beans and rice together to be complementary amino acids. I could eat beans as part of my nacho dip in the afternoon, and then rice as a base in a stir fry for dinner, and your body could take those amino acids and put them together. You don't need to have amino acids all in a line, all in one meal. People say, oh, there's a higher bioavailability of protein. Well, protein quality, your body needs the mix of amino acids, but you could get that from all plant-based sources. Protein is never a concern for me. I ran a little bit less yesterday, but I've been running about 120 miles last week and hopefully this week, so 200K a week. This is kind of the peak of marathon training. I found that this type of diet works really well for me, for my recovery, regular good fiber intake, and just trying to stay healthy with this training volume and be as fit as possible. But I also think it's great long term for a lot of people, whether your goal is to get down to a healthy weight loss or to get the most out of your endurance sports. But you got to have that mix, and you don't want to be deficient in anything for sure. As an athlete, you become really in tune with your body, so you kind of know when your training starts to falter and if it's caused by your diet. But there's a lot of subjective things there with people changing to a certain diet and then feeling a certain way within a day or two. Usually it takes longer for things to really kick in, and again, sleep and life stress and your actual training kind of make the biggest difference, as well as genetics in your running ability. But thanks so much for subscribing on here. Really appreciate it. There'll be more just running related content, not all just diet nutrition stuff, as well as training talk videos, workout videos, vlogs, you name it, stuff you guys like to see. Thanks so much for the Patreon supporters for really making this possible. Be sure to subscribe on here. If you like these types of videos, thumbs up, share it on social media. Check out our website, sagerunning.com, for a plant-powered page. So we have a resource of articles supporting a whole foods plant-based vegan diet that works really well for Coach Sandy and I. So you can check that out. I'll link to it in the description below as well. Thank you, and stay tuned for more.